What's up, guys? Today, yeah. So throughout high school and university, I always thought of myself as a very frugal person. I was very careful about how I spent my money. I saved a lot of money. Actually, no, I saved a lot. There's a big difference there. I saved a lot, and I didn't spend money on pointless stuff like having fun, for example. Of course, every now and then I would spoil myself a little bit, by making a somewhat big purchase. For example, when I first came to Cape Town, I bought a set of pink Beats by Dre headphones. I do not regret buying those headphones, by the way. Why, you might ask? Well, it's simple. I'd made it to the top university in the whole of Africa. It kind of felt like a big deal. And, I had some money left over after all week, and I was like, you know what? I've always wanted these headphones. Let me buy these headphones. And so I did. In fact, whenever I got a big payout, either from a hustle that paid out really well, an internship, or whatever the case was, I would spoil myself a little bit, just a little bit, not that much. After all the hard work and sacrifices I've put in, I definitely felt like I deserved it. Didn't happen that often, because after all, I didn't get paid those big payouts that often. But each time it happened, I would justify using the same logic. I deserve this. However, when I started working my full-time job though, things kind of changed a little bit, I was starting to spoil myself a bit more often than usual. Instead of spoiling myself once every couple of months, it was now more like once a month, sometimes a lot more than once a month. And I would still use the same logic. I worked my ass off with this. Kinda deserve this, man. After all, what's the point of making money if you're not gonna use it? So this begs the question. Back in high school, was I frugal or was I just broke? It's kinda easy to not spend money when you don't have the money. Spoiling myself too much is a bad habit that I used to have, and I'm glad to say I'm not over it, but I think I have a much better grip over that habit. Like I'm a lot more conscious about those spoiling decisions, You do need to spoil yourself, but not all the time. Anyways, the first bad money habit that I actually still do struggle with, that I want to share with you guys, is not reviewing my budget and bank statements frequently enough. See, that frequent spoiling I was doing was making it hard to manage my money and save consistently. So after a lot of soul searching, I figured, you know what? The best way to keep my spending in check is to create a budget and actually stick to it. So I developed a budget, a very realistic budget that met my needs. It was enough to spoil myself, but I would still be able to save every single month and invest my money and do all the other nice things you do with money. This worked really well for me. In fact, it worked so well. After a couple of months, I got to a stage where I didn't even need to look at my budget because my spending would naturally align with what I'd budgeted. So after a couple of months, I just stopped looking at the budget altogether because what's the point? Bad move. That was a horrible move. In Shona would call this benzi because it's ridiculous. A budget is not something you set once and then forget about it. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. When you have a budget, you should at the very least look at it once a month. Why? Because spending habits change. They change all the time. They change as you get more comfortable in your lifestyle. They change as your salary increases. They change as you meet new people in your life. Not long after making this bad move, I started noticing that once again, it's becoming hard to save. At the beginning of the month, I would still put money aside for savings. But halfway through the month, I would dig into my savings because I forgot to budget for something or some emergency came up. Like right now it's like 15-ish July and I'm pretty sure I'm out of electricity right now. So right now I need to pay for electricity, but my checking account is empty and it's more than a week from payday. And here we are. Great timing, Escom. Sometimes you have to visualize how you are actually spending money. How much money is going towards the essentials? How much money is going towards saving and investing, and ask yourself, is this even reasonable? The answer is usually no, which is why we don't like looking at our budget. Now, one of the reasons why my spending habits have changed, one of the reasons why saving has been so hard lately is gas. Gear acquisition syndrome. This term originated from the music industry and it's used to describe the tendency to purchase gear and equipment that is not justified by its price or usage. Doesn't actually just apply to music industry. It can apply to a lot of different things in life, especially for creatives. If you're a creative, if you're a photographer, videographer, or you do anything artistic or creative, you probably understand what I'm talking about. We call it a syndrome because it's usually not good for you or your pocket, especially if you're not rich and you live on a fixed income like some of us out here. You know you have gas if one, you are never satisfied with your purchases, and two, you're more excited about the idea of owning something than actually owning it. You know, you spend a lot more time researching gear than actually using the gear or practicing your hobby. I have an Xbox One. It's a fully functional gaming console, but there is a new Xbox out. It is superior in every single way. And in fact, I think I game frequently enough to actually justify an upgrade. However, it is 12,000 rands. That's a lot of money to upgrade a gaming console. And if you actually want to take advantage of all the features the new Xbox has to offer, you also have to upgrade your TV, which is a significantly bigger upgrade than the actual Xbox itself. Even if you're not a creative person, gas can come in many different forms. It could be you're craving to get a new phone, even though you have a 2-year-old fully functional smartphone, or maybe you want to buy new shoes, even though you have barely worn the last 5 pairs you bought. Gas wouldn't be much of a problem for me if I just stayed in touch with my spending habits, you know. So hopefully if I address the first problem, I'll be able to address this second problem. Before we talk about my last bad habit, I wanna do a Q&A video in the next couple of weeks. I've never done a Q&A video on this channel, so if you've got questions for me, you wanna know my opinions on something, my thoughts on something, or just about me in general, then leave your question down in the comment section and I'll answer you in the next couple of videos. Okay, so the last bad habit I have, I will admit it's a very privileged habit to have, but that is saving too much and not investing enough. I have reached most of my big savings goals, and my plan was to start investing all of my disposable income when I get to this stage, like most of my money at least, and have very little to no savings besides the, my emergency fund and the occasional big expenditure. I have very little responsibilities in my life right now. I have no kids, I have no school fees to pay for, no diapers to pay for and stress about, and I really should be taking advantage of this piece to make my money make more money and secure a nice future for myself. The problem is I don't know enough about investing to put all my money in investing. I know the basics, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, but like on the real, I know the basics about unit trusts, mutual funds, ETFs, or is it EFTs? But I don't know each one of these at a very deep level where I'm comfortable enough to actually be like, you know what, I'm gonna put all my salary in this thing because I'm fairly confident it's not a bad decision. I'm not there yet. The reason why I say saving too much is a bad money habit is because I come from Zimbabwe. I have very good experience with this thing called inflation, which makes your money lose value over time. The longer you keep money, the more value it loses. I do have plans to address this. I do want to get educated. I actually want to do some courses. Right now, I'm actually thinking of doing courses on property. Interest rates have been destroyed. I want to learn more about mutual funds and investing in the stock market. I want to learn more about all these things because I also want to diversify my investing, And once I get to that stage, once I get to a stage where I'm comfortable enough to put all my money in something, then yeah, maybe I'll share it with you guys. Let me know if you're interested in that. Okay, don't forget to share your Q&A questions in the comment section. And check out the other videos on the channel. There should be some videos on the screen right now. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, have a good day.